blinding flash? A deafening blast? Or a slow, agonizing end? The question isn't if the world will be destroyed, it's how. Will humanity be its own worst enemy, or will nature strike back with unstoppable fury? One thing is certain, we are standing on the edge of catastrophe. Let's uncover the terrifying events that could bring about humanity's final chapter.
70,000 nuclear weapons is just an accident waiting to happen.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
If there's one lesson we should learn from our past, it should be never to use nuclear weapons ever again. The worst of it was back in 1945, when the US Army dropped nuclear bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II.
There was a soldier on the ground suffering from burns. I thought, there's someone on the ground, and ran towards him. He noticed me and said, half groaning, "We've been hit by a new type of bomb."
But if a nuclear exchange occurs once again, immediate destruction would be catastrophic, wiping out entire cities and causing millions of casualties. The aftermath could be even worse. Firestorms would fill the atmosphere with soot. A nuclear winter will break out that blocks sunlight, leading to global cooling, failed crops, and widespread famine. This could last up to 10 years. The only silver lining, the chances of it actually happening and causing worldwide destruction are pretty low. Even if a nuclear weapon were to be used, it wouldn't necessarily lead to a world-ending scenario. However, with rising global tensions, the possibility of a world war seems more likely than ever.
That was the beginning of this idea of, wait a minute, 70,000 nuclear weapons is just an accident waiting to happen.
While it may not escalate to nuclear conflict, the threat is becoming harder to ignore, especially between major powers like the US, Russia, and China. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Russia and Ukraine, these two nations have descended into an inevitably recurring conflict.
North Korea's missile tests, China's aggressive stance on Taiwan, and unrest in the Middle East contribute to instability.
Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory.
If a world war did lead to use of nuclear weapons, the destruction would be immeasurable. Enemy drones carrying bombs could soon be buzzing over crowded cities. My best advice? Run for the hills. Literally, get out of major cities that could be prime targets. But even if you manage to escape, life as you know it will never be the same. Radiation exposure would result in long-term health effects like cancer and genetic mutations. Economic collapse, lawlessness, and government breakdowns would follow, making survival nearly impossible. While a full-blown World War III remains uncertain, its potential impact on humanity is something no one can ignore. If war doesn't wipe us out, then a virus probably will. You must remember the anthrax leak that happened at a Soviet bioweapons lab in Russia.
In just a week's time, we have had 4 confirmed cases of anthrax, all with media connections, and a number of anthrax scares as well.
And Compound 19 had one task: to produce weaponized anthrax on an industrial scale.
Back in April 1979, when workers accidentally removed an air filter, releasing anthrax spores into the air. This release became one of the worst bioweapon accidents in history, and a chilling reminder of the dangers of biological warfare. But if a virus was to spread today, it wouldn't be because of the one that Mother Nature makes. Scientists have been conducting risky experiments with some of the lethal viruses known to humanity, and the potential consequences are alarming.
Scientists ended up creating enough bioweapons to kill every person on the planet.
For example, the H5N1 bird flu is already highly lethal, with a mortality rate of over 50%, but it currently only spreads through direct contact with infected birds. However, in an attempt to understand how viruses evolve, researchers have genetically modified H5N1 to spread through the air, making it far more contagious. If this bioengineered strain were to escape, it could spark a pandemic even more devastating than COVID-19 that almost wiped 17 million people worldwide, and still is one of the leading causes of life loss. But that's not the only concern. Scientists have also revived the 1918 Spanish flu virus, which took away 40 million people by extracting collecting samples from frozen bodies buried in the Arctic. Their goal was to study the virus and prevent future outbreaks, but many experts fear that bringing such a pathogen back to life carries extreme risks. And what are the chances it wouldn't go the wrong way? Yes. No one knows. If a researcher were accidentally infected, or if the virus leaked due to poor containment, it could spread uncontrollably. A disaster like this could cause global panic. People would rush to stockpile food and medical supplies. Governments would enforce strict lockdowns, and misinformation would spread like wildfire. Some would refuse to follow safety measures, while others might turn to dangerous remedies in desperation. Such a disaster will make COVID-19 seem mild by comparison. Governments and scientists would scramble to create a vaccine, but by then, it might be too late to stop the devastation. Now, if we get a little creative as the possibilities of the world coming to an end are downright wild and numerous, humanity could also end with a freaking zombie virus outbreak. And it wouldn't sound too out of the blue, as humans have been obsessed with the idea of a zombie monster apocalypse and have been imagining the chaos and disruption for years. Or maybe these cinematic pieces are actually predictions of an upcoming disaster. A real-world zombie-like infection would likely come from a mutated virus, parasite, or fungus that attacks the brain. Certain diseases, like rabies, already alter behavior and can spread through bites. If a virus mutated to become highly contagious, airborne, or fast-acting, it could cause chaos. Scientists have even studied mind-controlling parasites, and as we've seen before, a French virologist has already isolated a similar virus from permafrost.
Jean-Marie Olympic from the French National Center for Scientific Research said that these reanimating viruses are potentially a significant threat to public health.
Yes, humans will cause their own downfall. But let's be honest, humanity is up against far bigger threats. Something that's from outer space. Extraterrestrials, aliens. If extraterrestrials were to arrive on Earth, the impact would be unlike anything humanity has ever faced. The Drake equation.
It's based on a very clever and logical idea. Drake reasoned that the way of calculating the number of civilizations in our galaxy whose electromagnetic emissions are detectable could be calculated,
which estimates the likelihood of intelligent life elsewhere in the Milky Way, suggests there's a significant chance we're not alone. But if advanced alien beings exist, why haven't they shown up yet? Some scientists believe that extraterrestrials might already be aware of Earth by detecting gases in our atmosphere, a vital sign of life. If they have the ability to travel across galaxies, their technology would be far superior to ours. And when aliens do arrive on Earth, governments would likely respond in secret first, to avoid mass hysteria, declaring a state of emergency.
Destruction, we are told by experts, will be immense.
If the aliens turned out to be hostile, there are many ways they could assert their dominance over Earth. They might use advanced weaponry, mind control, or biological attacks to weaken humanity. One possible strategy could involve abductions, with people mysteriously disappearing. Others fear the aliens might release a bioweapon. If their technology is advanced enough to reach Earth, there's no telling what kind of devastating abilities they might have. Could Earth's defenses even stand a chance? If history has taught us anything, it's that civilizations with lesser technology usually don't survive encounters with more advanced ones. If these extraterrestrials saw us as primitive, we could be wiped out before we even understood what was happening. However, the chances of intelligent extraterrestrial life existing are likely very low, so maybe don't worry about becoming an alien's breakfast. But if there's one force that can end life on Earth, and humans can't control it, that's Mother Nature. I'm talking about volcanoes, natural disasters. For example, Yellowstone National Park sits on one of the most powerful supervolcanoes on Earth. It has erupted 3 times in the past, with the most massive explosion occurring 2.1 million years ago, releasing an unimaginable 2,500 cubic kilometers of volcanic material. If it were to erupt erupt again in 2025, the consequences would be devastating. The immediate destruction would affect the United States the most, which would be buried under molten lava and toxic gases. But the damage wouldn't stop there. The eruption would send a huge cloud of volcanic ash into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and causing a global volcanic winter. Temperatures would drop, crops would fail, and famine could spread across the planet. Some scientists believe the impact could last for years or even a decade, sort of similar to the nuclear weapon. The only relief, the chances of this happening are extremely low, around 0.0014%. Another major threat to humanity is climate change, and it's happening right now as we speak.
Climate change.
Climate change.
Climate changes.
Climate change.
And it isn't just about hotter summers or stronger storms. It could be the force that brings civilization to its knees.
This is a problem that babies you pass in the street will have to live with.
As temperatures rise, ice caps melt, causing sea levels to rise and swallowing entire coastal cities. Extreme weather events will become more frequent and intense, making it harder to grow food and find clean water. With failing crops and mass starvation, wars over resources could erupt, leading to global instability and economic collapse. Rising temperatures will also release ancient viruses and bacteria trapped in ice, exposing humanity to deadly new diseases. If left unchecked, climate change could turn Earth into an unlivable wasteland where only the strongest or luckiest survive. One thing that's secretly causing an increase in global temperature is the growing demands of AI technology. Yes, you heard that right.
If you look at the peak demand during the summertime, if the data center don't reduce their load, there could be a blackout.
AI systems require massive amounts of energy to process data, train models, and solve complex problems.
As we think about AI applications, those numbers can grow quite significantly beyond that into hundreds of megawatts.
Just to put things into perspective, one ChatGPT query takes about 10 times the energy of a typical Google search. Training one large language model can produce as much CO2 as the entire lifetime of not 1 or 2, but 5 gas-powered cars, and use as much water as a small country.
I was quite shocked when I saw the number of AI computing's water needs.
Discussing all these threats might make you feel anxious, so let's take a look at some solutions that might help us in the long run, and that is nuclear energy. That's making a comeback as a potential solution to the climate crisis.
This nuclear power plant in Georgia is the nation's largest and one of the world's most advanced. Together, they power more than 2 million homes and businesses.
Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear power doesn't release carbon dioxide, making it one of the cleanest energy sources available. With governments and private companies investing in this carbon-free energy source, if successful, nuclear power could play a huge role in slowing climate change and securing a cleaner future for the planet.
We now have a cluster of activity and also companies using our facilities. General Fusion, a Canadian company, moving to our campus, and Tokamak Energy, both UK-born companies building their next facilities here.
But one wrong move, and the whole world could become one big Chernobyl disaster, wiping us all in the way. Just when you think AI would be a helping tool for us, after spending all that energy, it turns out they might actually cause our collapse.
Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
Although AI-powered household robots will make life easier, a one all-purpose home assistant, daily chores could become a thing of the past. But this comes with added dangers. When clips like this appear online, the AI technology seems scary.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
The advancements coming in are crazy. Just have a look at this new human clone robot made with 206 bones, just like a living human, and it's able to control all of them. Tell me this doesn't look scary. It seems like it is about time when humans will have to bow to their own creation. How about we take a look at another disaster out of this world? What if the solar system lost its harmony and planets crashed into one another, and Mars, our beloved neighbor, decided to smash right into us? A collision between Earth and Mars would be an apocalyptic event. Yes, but how likely is it? Mars orbits the Sun at a distance much farther than the Moon or any near-Earth object. However, over millions of years, gravitational interactions could destabilize planetary orbits. If Mars were somehow nudged off course, it could drift toward Earth, leading to a catastrophic impact. If Mars collided with Earth, the energy released would be unimaginable. The impact would instantly vaporize entire continents. The force would likely shatter Earth's crust, sending molten rock into space and creating a new asteroid belt. Any remaining life would be wiped out by extreme heat, shockwaves, and a global firestorm. End to all of humanity. If an asteroid impact could wipe out dinosaurs, humans wouldn't be much of a problem. And even if Mars didn't hit directly, a near miss could destabilize Earth's orbit, causing massive climate shifts, earthquakes, and mass extinctions. Seeing all these threats, there are a few facts that can't be ignored. These.
We actually have been selling property on the moon since 1980.
Websites that offer to sell land on the moon. And this guy who claims to own the moon and has been selling land for over 30 years. Also, all this work on building houses on Mars and Elon Musk's plans to colonize the Red Planet. These recent developments have left people questioning if all of this is planned out, making Earth inhabitable for humans and escaping to other planets. A secret contract with other worldly entities. A deliberate move to destroy our own home, or something far sinister. I'll let you be the judge of that.